Hello, and welcome to this free training. I'm so excited that you're here. I am going to be speaking all about how to get consistent, high quality leads to flow into your business effortlessly. I've been at the stage of my business where I have been attracting nobody and I have zero clients, zero kind of inquiries coming in. I've been at the point where I have been getting inquiries, but they're not necessarily high value. And then that's also discouraging. And through so much trial and error, through so much strategy and just showing up consistently for my business, I am now at the point where we do consistently attract high quality leads into my business. And so this is going to be a course that is going to be going through the strategies that worked, the ones that didn't work, and how you can implement them into your own business to see similar results. And look, I know that there's so many trainings out there, both free and paid, and you might have taken them in the past and you feel like you watch the content and are just disappointed at the end. Maybe it just stayed very surface level and you didn't really feel like you got anything out of it. It is literally my mission to make this course not that. It's my mission for you to feel like you walk away with something after today and have some tangible steps that you can take to better your business and to see improvement in this area. So let's go ahead and get into it. I am so excited for this. So if you don't know me, my name is Jenna and I am the owner and creative director of White and Salt, which is a creative agency. We specialize in branding. We also do websites. We do naming, packaging design, kind of you name it, we kind of do it, but definitely specialize in brand identity. A little about me. I am married to my absolute best friend. Fun fact, we actually met and started dating at 18. We met on our very first day of our freshman year of college and started to date a week later, which is super weird. I look back and I'm like, that was just so strange to do that. But it ended up working out. We've been together ever since then, and we have 3 amazing kids together now. Cooper is 5, Curran is 3, and then Liv is 1. And a little about my background, who am I and why do I even have any sort of credibility to be speaking about the subject? I have been in branding for more than 9 years. And I have worked with hundreds of small businesses at the beginning stages of their business and also businesses who are further along in the journey as well. I graduated with a degree in graphic design and advertising. However, I was not really taught anything about working with clients in college. I wasn't really even taught anything about strategic branding. I took some business classes. I had a minor in business, so that was helpful. But really everything about design process, brand, strategic branding, brand strategy, how to work with a client, I learned on the job or through trial and error, through courses outside of college, or just through Googling. So this is really something that I have had to spend years learning. And the unfortunate thing is even if you do have a degree, it's not something you're taught. And so I'm really passionate about teaching other designers about these things so then they can too run successful businesses where they can see the freedom in their life and the flexibility that I've been able to have. And it just makes for a really rewarding career. And so I am passionate because I want to expedite your process. I don't want you to have to go through 9 years of trial and error. I would love for you to be able to start doing this year. So that's really why I'm passionate about teaching. My first job after college is I started working as an in-house designer for a local chocolatier company. And that's really where I got my first kind of taste of what real branding meant. In college, I knew what branding was. I knew how to design well. I knew the programs. I, knew what good design versus bad design was, but I really didn't know how it interacted with business. And it was at this first job where, we would have these meetings with the sales team and they would share with us their goals and what they were trying to do. And then me and my boss, I worked with one other guy. It was our whole creative team was 2 people. He was the creative director and then I was his senior designer. And we would go back to our office and talk about how we could use design as a tool for the sales team and to help them hit their goals. And I loved that, the strategy and talking about how we can appeal to, the target market and how we were going to be different than other chocolate companies that were already out there. Like what made us premium and how do we communicate that in our messaging? Like I loved all of that stuff. And I also just really experienced the full gambit of spectrum of design. So I learned how to shoot photography. I learned photo editing. I learned how to plan a photo shoot, learned how to design for, we completely fully designed our new website. I did packaging design, helped with the brand design, helped with launching new products. I designed for a trade show. We designed physical locations, like literally everything and anything brand related I had experience with now from working at this in-house design company and or this in-house chocolatier company, and I loved it. I was hooked, but I knew I wanted to do more of it. I knew that working for a single company where I just like knew the ins and outs of it, I was starting to get bored. I really wanted more of that strategy, and so then that's when I decided to start White and Salt, and I gained some traction in the beginning. I was able to, I posted to my personal Instagrams and stuff that I was starting my own creative studio and was able just to get a few clients from word of mouth, from acquaintances, people I have kind of knew in the past, hired me. They were my first clients. I did some work for my cousin who was starting her own business, and really just kind of like bootstrapped it. I didn't spend any money on marketing or ads or anything like that, and just kind of slowly built momentum. But then I started to feel a little down. We went through some pretty heavy personal stuff. We were struggling to start our family. I had a couple of miscarriages, and I was just feeling really lonely working by myself. I was feeling defeated. I wasn't really feeling like my clientele was growing very quickly. I wasn't making a whole lot of money. I was not making much at the chocolatier company, and I still wasn't making very much working on my own. And so I decided at this point that I wanted to gain more experience and I wanted to work with people on a team again. So I decided to go back to agency life and looked for some jobs working at creative agencies. And I worked for 2 different creative agencies during this time. And this is where I really started to learn how to work with high value clients. I learned about their needs, what they wanted, what they were looking for out of an agency. I learned I learned what the strategies were that they needed. I learned really how to take them through an entire branding project from the start to the finish with them, and really just like how to sit in meetings with them, how to have really high level conversations with them about their businesses and how we can use branding to help them hit their goals. And I was obsessed. I loved working with the clients that I was working with. I loved the industries that we had experience with. I loved the photo shoots I was doing and the strategy. I just loved all of it. And I gained so much experience here. And then we had more babies, and I decided that it was time to come back to White and Salt. It was why I'd started White and Salt in the beginning. I knew I wanted that freedom and flexibility in my life, and I was really able to level up everything at this point. I learned so much about design process, so I up-leveled my design process and up-leveled my strategy that I was doing and really how to like talk to clients. And I started to slowly but surely attract more consistent, more high value clients, people who are willing to pay me a little bit more. It still wasn't great though. I did take a course at this point and started to see some traction, but still was struggling at this point. And this is where I'm going to like leave off on the story. I'm going to pick it up later on and as I kind of walk you through what I changed and strategies that I used to be at the point where I'm at now, where I've been able to hire a team and stuff. But yeah, that's a little bit of my background. I really truly have been through all of it, all of the stages. And yeah, my passion is to help you not to have to go through all of that as I had to. So since we're going to be talking about high value clients today, I really feel like we need to define what a high value client actually is, because high value does not always equal high budget, and vice versa. Like high budget does not always equal high value. From experience, I've literally made more profit on a $3K project than I have on a $10K project, which sounds crazy. It's actually kind of embarrassing to admit because you would think that you would just make so much more on a 10K project. But after going through 10K projects where the client had so many revisions, where we've had to scrap the project and start over, where I didn't, I made some mistakes with defining like the scope or I let the project go over scope. I've seen how profit is so much more important to calculate than the overall project number. And so really I like when I hone that in, that like it is possible to make more money on a 3K project than a 10K or even 45K, whatever the number is. And it's all about how you structure the project from the beginning. So also like besides money, high value clients also look to you as the expert. They do not try to take over the creative. They respect your boundaries and the scope of the project, and they're also highly profitable. So how do you calculate profit as a solo run business? This is something that I wish I was taught earlier because I was doing it wrong for years. But how to calculate profit is you're going to take the cost of your project minus your expenses. And I know you're like, yes, obviously. But what I was doing so wrong is that I was only accounting for my hard expenses. So the cost of my laptop, the cost of my design programs. If I purchased stock imagery for that project, I would subtract those from the project and then say I was charging $5K. I'd be like, great, my profit was $45K or $4,500. I would transfer it over and I would be happy and it was great. But what I wasn't realizing was that my labor cost, like me physically doing the project, I was the cheapest labor I was ever going to find. I was literally really only charging like not even how much it would take an intern to do it. So I was never going to be able to scale my business because my time is going to be capped at a certain point. Like I'm only one person. I only have so many hours in a day. So unless I'm able to hire help in some area, which at this point, since I wasn't calculating my profit correctly, I couldn't afford to hire help. I couldn't even afford a VA, let alone another designer to help me with these projects. And so I really hit a ceiling with how much I was able to make at like the 50K mark. I really couldn't make anything over that. And, that wasn't going to work for us. And so I finally learned that you need to calculate your rate based off of how much it would cost you to hire out somebody to do your job for you. So I wasn't accounting for the design time or the project management time, pretty much is what it came down to. So if I were to take my role, so pretty much the project management, so if I were to like hire somebody to help me with project management and hire somebody to do all of the design work, and I were to not touch that project, I need to calculate what that would cost me. And then my profit is going to be what's left over after that. Like the money left over is what you can use to invest and grow your business. And I basically had nothing left over or in the negatives because I was paying myself something did not mean that my business is profitable. And that was mistake number one. And so you need to start calculating your profit correctly in order to grow your business. So where to find high value clients and how to speak to them. So where to find them? I get asked very consistently through comments on all my social media channels, how do you find clients? I have always found clients through social media. My clients find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest. In addition to that, I get all my clients from referrals. That makes up probably 99% of all of my inquiries is social media and referrals. The other 1%, I randomly have people find me through Google, which I have not really invested anything in SEO, so I'm not going to really cover that in this course, but that makes up 100% of our inquiries. Also in the beginning, I just wanted to throw this in there. If you're in the beginning or you're in a desperate dry season, there are creative staffing agencies that will help you get placed into jobs. And I used Creative Circle specifically in the past, and I found some great clients through there. So if you're really strapped, you can try to reach out to your own local units. The ones I know of are Creative Circle and Equint Staffing, but just Google in your area, like creative staffing agency, and you should be able to see if any pop up. Online ones you could try, Brief is one, Upwork and Fiverr. You can also try to find clients through those platforms. But social media, they're going to be somewhat colder leads unless they're totally binging your content and they have really followed you for a long time and feel like they know you. They're going to be somewhat colder because they're not going to be a referral. They don't know you personally, but they're still great. I still get tons of bookings from social media. So some social media tips. I wish I could go into like full social media strategy, but I'm trying to keep this course under like 30 to 40 minutes, and there's just is no way I would have enough time. I feel like I can do a whole other course on social media strategy, but high level social media tips. I would highly recommend that you audit your business and try to figure out exactly where you're going wrong, because you can have the most perfect Instagram strategy, but if there is something internal that is amiss, you are not going to get anywhere still. So I encourage you to do at least 1 to 2 audits per year on your business, and you want to be looking at your portfolio, making sure that you are consistently showing your best work that is within your target demographic. You want to make sure that your messaging is stellar. I'm going to talk a little bit about messaging later on in this slide. You want to make sure that you're targeting people who are going to be high value clients through your own branding, through your own website, and through how you are showing up. If you're feeling like you're all good on all of those fronts, then it's probably going to be about getting new eyeballs onto your work. If you feel completely confident in your work, you know that you have the strategy down, you know that your process is down, and you feel confident in all those things, then it's going to be about getting eyeballs. And the best way you're going to do that is through TikTok or through Instagram Reels. Those are how people are getting discovered these days, and it is definitely the place to put your time. Also, I have found a lot of success through carousel posts on Instagram. People absolutely love those. I get by far the most engagement on carousels, and then also videos. And then you want to make sure that you're clearly communicating ROI. Since you are doing a B2B transaction, your clients are going to care about what they are going to be able to get out of the project, and you want to know distinctly what their goals are, so then you can speak to those through your content. Speak to how you are actually going to help them hit those goals, like why your process works, why what you do is unique from what other people are doing. So then they trust you, and you can build up that expertise and be somebody that they look to as the expert in this area. And then also understanding your target market buyer type. This is not something I did until more recently, and it helped me so much understanding this. If you don't know what a buyer type is, just go ahead and Google it. I think there's 4 different buyer types, and understanding what your target market needs to see in order to buy from you is really at the base of all of this. So for example, White and Salt's buyer type is assertive. This type of person is going to care about what the project is going to do for their growth and their goals. So that is something I talk about consistently in my content. They're also very analytical, meaning that they need all of the information, what's included in the proposal. They want to know the deliverables. They want to know about how I'm going to get them from point A to point B. So talking about my process is really important. And so I really tailor all of my content to these 2 different buyer types. So understanding who your buyer type is in particular, and just because you have a creative agency as well does not mean that your buyer types are going to be the same as mine. So definitely research this, Google it, and ask your past clients why they chose you over other people they were researching. You can also reach out to your target demographic, even if you're not working with them, and just ask if you can ask them research questions. And hearing it from the horse's mouth is really important, because you don't want to be making assumptions that are untrue. That is also something that I did for so long in my business, and it really stunted my growth. And then also just clearly having a brand and a specialty or niche. So I see so many designers speaking to the general public and casting a wide net, but if you can really speak to the details about your particular target market's problems, your messaging is going to be so much stronger, and it's going to allow them to see themselves in the project. So if you can niche down to a specific industry, or if you can niche down to a specific specialty, those are both things that White and Salt did that really helped hone in our messaging and make us appear as more unique in the space, because we were no longer speaking to the general, like, everybody. And then also, this is like the nuanced messaging that I kind of mentioned earlier, but not speaking about why they need branding or what branding is, and creating all these education posts about, why they need branding. Like, high value clients already know that they need branding. They don't need to be convinced that they need it. They don't need to be convinced that to value branding. They don't need to know what branding is, because they already know all of this. They already know that they need branding. They are on the market to choose who to do the project. So instead, you're going to want to really hone in on why you over someone else. Like, what makes your process unique? Why is your experience level perfect for them? That is why, like, niching is so important too, because you can really get into the details and, like, nuances of what makes you unique to that specific person and makes you specifically attractive to them. That's going to really also make a difference in your messaging. Other ideas to try. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all these in detail because I don't want this course to be super, super long. But other ideas to try, like making sure, obviously, like, your own brand and website is very high quality and strategic. Doing strategic brand photo shoots, underline, highlight strategic. I see everyone doing photo shoots, but so many of them are just showing up to the, wherever you're holding your shoot, you're hiring, your friend who's a photographer to shoot photos for you. That's not the type of shoot I'm talking about. I'm talking about shoots that are thoughtfully and well planned out and have strategy behind them. Those are the ones that you're going to see insane ROI from. I've done about 3 of these, and each time we do it, it's instant, like an instant uplift in the type of clients we're attracting, an instant uplift in the amount of inquiries we're receiving. They literally work so well. I've also seen people do site credit. So once you finish a client's website, putting your own contact information in their site, saying, like, the site was designed by White and Salt, and then linking to your website. Another great way to find clients. Submitting for features, PR, design awards, appearing larger than you are. What I mean by this is appearing as the agency that you want to become later, knowing that you have the experience to back it up. So it is not false advertising, but you are doing things like building out your projects larger than they were. So if a client hired you for brand identity, but they really are a product-based business, but you didn't do the packaging part of the project, who's to say you can't build out the packaging to have the project look bigger and more well-rounded, even though the client didn't technically pay for it? Those are the types of things we're talking about, because it just makes you appear larger, but then it also just displays your expertise and your knowledge, and not letting your current clients' scope of projects stunt the types of projects that you can that you can attract in the future. So, like, why would anybody ever hire you for a super full scope project that includes all the bells and whistles if they've never seen that type of work on your website before? So that's what I'm talking about, is just like doing the extra things on your site and in your portfolio to really showcase the expert that you are. And yeah, like, not letting your current clients stunt your growth and the types of clients that you can attract in the future. And then referrals. You guys, referrals are going to be your bread and butter. And if they are not yet, you need to figure out the strategies on how to optimize them. And I've tried everything under the sun on how to optimize referrals. I have done client gifts, I've done holiday gifts, I've done referral programs, I have done emailing, asking for referrals. I have literally tried everything, and this is what I have learned. One, people are, if you are charging thousands of dollars for projects, a $100 or $200 kickback is probably not going to be super motivating. People are more motivated by helping people than I think that they are by that, amount of money. Like, I've never really had somebody who wasn't going to already refer me because I had a referral program in place. Again, I've tried it. It just, like, I didn't see an uplift at all whenever I had a referral program. The best way to get referrals to give somebody the most top-notch experience. That's why I talk so much about your process and your process being so professional and dialed that your client can't help but leave happy. That's what you can do to, like, doing that and spending your money there is going to be much more lucrative than doing a referral program or gifts. Also partnering with parallel businesses. So you want to partner with people who are also B2B, who also serve clients, but you're never actually going to compete with them. So examples of a parallel business would be a social media agency, a talent agency, PR agencies, business consultants, etc. You want to partner with people who their clients would benefit from having branding, and not only would their clients benefit, but the person you're partnering with would benefit too. So for example, we partner with a social media agency. We see so many referrals from her, and she is so happy to refer all these clients to us because it literally makes her job easier and will make it like their business will be more successful with better branding. And so it in turn makes her business look better as well. So it's mutually beneficial. Same thing, we partner with the talent agency as well. Same thing, like when we do projects for her creators, they get better brand deals if they have branding in place. And so they have recognized that. And so they are happy to refer their clients to us because they also see the benefit from it. So partnering with parallel businesses is really great because you can refer people back and forth to each other. And the ways you do that, like mine kind of came about naturally, but it's really about doing stellar work. And even if like you wanted to target them for a little bit and say like, you specialize in branding talent agencies, or you specialize in social media agency branding, just to, get your name out in those industries, those could be like great strategies to use. Also recognizing connector type personalities, people who find joy out of connecting people with one another. I will recognize a connector type personality and just go all in on them. I make sure that they have the best possible experience with me. Because I know that it will come back. So even if I spend more time on their project than I normally would, or I give them more deliverables than I normally would, or I let them kind of slightly creep out of scope just to make sure that they get everything that they need and see the results that they're wanting to see out of their project, it all comes back to me. And when both of the people that I now partner with are connector personalities, and I recognize that when I did their project with them, and took extra measures to make sure that their project was a success, and it has come back to me tenfold. So really going above and beyond for those types of people. And these types of referrals are going to be your warm and hot leads. Imagine like when somebody says like they give you that stamp of approval, like buy this thing, like I love it, you're so much more likely to trust and buy because of a recommendation. So that's why optimizing referrals is the best thing that you can do for your business. Another way to optimize referrals is by having a multiple offer strategy. So usually the longer you're in business, the more clients you service, right? Just like over the years, you start to, service more and more people because you've been in business longer. So then therefore, there's more people out there referring you, especially if they've had a good experience with you. So traditionally, this is going to take years to build up. But I found, so back in 2021, I started offering multiple offers, and one of my new offers was a design intensive. And this allowed me to work with more businesses in a shorter amount of time because I was optimizing my design process to fit what normally was a very long design process into a shorter amount of time. So I was therefore able to take on more clients that year. And so then my referrals basically exploded from it because they all were super happy with my process and the results they received from this specific offer, that they then started to refer to all of their friends and businesses that they knew and their clients. And all of a sudden I found that I had so much work from this. So having an offer strategy that allows you to work with more people than you're currently working with, also a great way to optimize referrals. So this is like really what truly made me go from like 3 to 4 so inquiries per month to like 10, 12, 15 high value inquiries per month in literally like a year's time. So what is a design intensive? I kind of want to dive into a little bit more about design intensives, because this truly is what made the biggest difference in my business. I started my business in 2015 and didn't start offering design intensives until 2021. And it wasn't until 2021 until I was able to grow exponentially and actually see crazy money come from my business. So what is a design intensive? I took my bread and butter client and I basically analyzed their budget. I analyzed their goals, their desired deliverables, and I created a project structure for them. So what was basically happening is like in my business, I really wasn't successfully really able to charge more than like $5,000 for branding and websites. And since this is the type of person I was attracting into my business and I was spending so much time on their project, I was never really able to make that much money because I was only able to take on like 1 or 2 of them. It would take me a few months to do their project and I was not making very much money doing it. So instead of just raising my price on that offer and then losing out on all those people who were inquiring with me, because I was so scared to do that, because like, what if you raise your rates and then all of a sudden you're left with 0 clients? Like I felt like the little bit of money I was making was better than nothing. So I really felt debilitated from even trying to raise my rates far past what I knew that they could afford. So instead of doing that, I decided to create an offer that was specifically tailored to them. And that is what a design intensive is. It's basically an intensified version of a full process brand design, and it is designed specifically for early stage business owners or businesses who are under 5 employees. And it's a lot of solo run businesses. It's like perfect for them. It gives them exactly what they need, which is strategic branding in a short, optimized timeline, and it costs typically what they have budgeted to spend at this stage of business, which right now my business, White and Salt, charges $3,500 for design intensives. And it basically consists of a strategic prep period, which is a client questionnaire and some strategy work, a strategy call, and then design execution, which takes place over a single day where both the client and the designer are completely dedicated to the project. And we do live revisions as opposed to revisions over email. So they get exactly what they need to hit their goals. I get paid $3,500 for about 10 hours of work, which is $350, which if you would have told me I would make that much as a designer, I would have thought you were crazy. It's insane, like the money that you can make with design intensives. So it's kind of like the trajectory of like how my business went through the years. So in like 2020, I'd started in 2015, went back to, working at agencies and then came back. So I'm kind of catching you up to speed here now. It's like 2020. I was charging around $5,000 for a brand and website project that would take me 6 to 8 weeks to complete. And I had enough inquiries at this point to kind of keep busy, but they were all from the wedding industry. I wasn't like super lit up by the work I was doing. It was fine and all, and I was grateful for it, but it wasn't like exactly the target market that I was going for. And I also had a really hard time attracting people from the industry I was interested in working with. So I was really wanting to do product-based businesses from the wellness, beauty, fashion, packaging industry. Really wasn't getting a whole lot of those. And I was making around $50,000 a year. I was working close to full time, and we were having a hard time affording daycare. And then 2021 hit, and I started to offer design intensives. I started to charge $2,000 for a day-long project. So as opposed to $5,000 for something that was taking me 6 to 8 weeks, I started to charge $2,000 for something that was taking me 10 hours. And they were so popular that I quickly raised the rates to $2,500 for a design intensive. And the offer basically blew up overnight. I started easily booking clients, and I started to actually book out, which I had literally never, ever done before this. And I was working very part-time. I was bringing in easy 10K months, and I was really only working about 5 days per month, full days. This is when I launched Design Intensive Master Training, which just kind of happened organically. I started to share about what I was doing on my Instagram stories, and got so many DMs from other people asking how I was doing this, other design businesses asking about this offer. So I decided to make a course about it, and the course, like everyone like loved the course too. This is also the year I booked my very first 5-figure brand only project, which I booked at 19K, which was insanity. Like I could not believe I booked something at that level, and it was because I was bold enough to ask for it, because I knew I had something to fall back on if they said no, that their budget was way lower. So that was like super exciting too. And then in 2023, I started charging $3K for a day-long project, and I also raised rates to $4K because, again, they were so popular. I was booking so many of them. And then I started to kind of experiment. I wanted to experiment what it would look like to do a week-long intensive, and I started to experiment with the structure and the process of what that looked like. I hired a team, and I made my first 50K month in only client projects, which I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be able to do that, and I was so proud. I also booked my first a 45K branding project, which like bonkers. I literally can't. I still like look at that number. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I actually did that. That's so cool to see. And then in 2023 and 2024, it's very beginning of 2024 as we're entering 2024 right now. And I found a sweet spot with charging $3,500 for a day-long project. I work with 2 other designers now who do intensives for White and Salt, and I have the ultimate flexibility to scale my business up or down depending on what my family is needing. I was working a lot last year, and this year we ultimately decided that I was needed at home. I have 3 kids. They're all really tiny, and I love that I still am able to work and still scale my business, but I have so much flexibility because of my different project structures. I'm able to charge significantly more for my full projects and also still, maximize on most of the inquiries that are coming in. And I work really amazing, larger businesses very consistently now. I booked a 35K project for Q1, and I'm working about 10 to 15 hours a week right now. So massive intensives, like how is this possible? So you can charge like anywhere from like 1 to 3K for day-long intensives. If you were to do 1 to 2 intensives per week, which equals 1 to 6K per week, which is in turn 4 to 24K per month. This equates to 48K to 288K per year if you were to do this, fairly consistently. That's not even every single week. I took out some weeks there for that calculation, but that's only working 1 to 2 days per week. And this is also not including any larger projects you might book. So depending on how much you want to be working, you can really flex up and down depending on if you book a fuller project, or if you don't, you can take on smaller clients and kind of fill in. The flexibility opens up so much when you start offering multiple offers rather than just the one. So imagine what the kind of freedom that means for you and your business and your personal life. For me personally, it's meant so much more time with my kids. It's meant expanding my team so I didn't have to do everything anymore. It meant drastically increasing my rates in my full projects, and it meant like way cooler, more aligned clients overall. And I just want to know, like, what would that mean for you? Like if you were to just dream a little bit and dream about like what you would do with like that extra time that you had if you were able to charge like that much for day-long projects and then scale up your full scale projects. Like what would that look like for you? So Design Intensive Master Training, it is like the best course. And I'm not just saying that, like people have seen so like crazy results from taking Design Intensive Master Training. Back in 2021, like no one was really doing design intensives, and now they are more commonplace. I see so many people offering them. I hadn't heard of anybody doing them when I started doing it back in 2021, but now I see people doing all kinds of versions, whether it's like an intensive or a VIP day or a design sprint. And I've seen the marketplace go from like, this will never work. I've seen designers preaching for years, like I would never offer something like this, to this is the future for small businesses. And it tells me that this style of project is not going anywhere. It is not a fad. In fact, like according to Forbes, there's been an 89% increase in small businesses formed between the years of 2020 and 2022, which is just a 2-year span compared to the 2005 and 2016 time period, which that's like a 10-year span. It's crazy the amount of small businesses that are opening up and needing branding and needing something custom. Like some people do the, like semi-custom branding projects or custom kits. But small businesses need a higher touch point than that. They truly need something custom, but they don't need everything, all the bells and whistles of what is in a full scope project. Like that is just overkill for them with where they're at, where their budget is at. Like you don't make any money doing those, and they also just can't afford them. And it doesn't, like when I really analyze and look at where they were with their goals, I was like, it's too much for them. Like they don't need that. Like that wouldn't be a wise investment. So I also felt just like this imposter syndrome on my discovery calls because I was recommending something that in my heart I knew was just too much for them. And so having intensives has really been amazing because I've been able to meet them where they're at, still give them the custom solution, but do it in a way that is profitable for my business. And so many people, I think, are realizing this, and a lot of people are going to try to piece together how to do a design intensive on their own. Like I feel like even after watching this free training, you might go back and you might consider like, okay, like how do I piece together like a design process or an intensive process that will work? They're going to try to figure it out. They're going to have to try to figure out how to market it on their own. And you might see a little bit of success. You might get a couple of bookings. And this is coming from someone who has heard the story so many times from people messaging me about it. They, started offering it like beginning of last year. They got a couple bookings, but then it just went stale and like no one really wanted it. They didn't know how to sell it. They didn't know how to talk about it on discovery calls. And so they're missing out on all these opportunities. But what would happen if you could master this, and master it quickly? Like, what would that mean for the inquiries that you're already seeing that are within this budget range? If you can provide a solution that's profitable for your business and also gives them exactly what they want. What if you were on the forefront of this style of project process and you didn't just like add it willy-nilly to your service offering, but you actually knew how to sell it and have it make a substantial impact on your business? That is what Design Intensive Master Training will do for you. You will exit the training feeling like you are a master of intensives. You'll feel confident being able to offer this type of service. This is kind of like an overview of exactly what's included in the training. It is literally everything you can think of when it comes to intensives. It's geared towards brand designers and website designers. It's a course that's tailored specifically for you, and it's going to go over everything from mindset hurdles to how to market them, how to sell them on a call. It gives you an exact sales call script that has been proven to work really well. There's the whole onboarding process, how to do prep work, how to do it quickly and efficiently, how to present it to a client over a call, how to conduct a design day or a design week if you choose to do a week setting instead of a day setting, or offer both. It shows how to present your work, how to do live revisions. It shows you how to scale to include a team. It tells you all about unique scenarios and what to do if, things don't go as expected. Plus there's all the templates and call scripts that we use. It's literally everything and anything that you can think of, when it comes to intensive. So we've had people take the course and literally book with their first intensive before even finishing the course. We've had people, be able to start booking these right away after just a week after booking or taking the course. So the time it takes to turn around and start offering intensives effectively is very quick. It's designed to be binged. It's designed to give you fast results. These are just some of the reviews that people have given about the course. We have so many more. Feel free to message me, and I'm so happy to share them with you. I'm also offering an exclusive offer for you taking this training. And if you decide that, you're listening to this and you're I'm all in, I am offering a special price. $350 off the course, which I literally have never done. I think the most I've ever offered off is $150 off before. So this is truly like, it won't happen anymore. You have like just a few minutes to take advantage of that offer. You can do so in the bottom right hand corner. If you're a little bit like on the fence, like no problem, like do not feel the pressure if you don't know if this is like quite ready for you, or if you're quite ready for this. I'm going to be sending you a few emails over the next few days, kind of just like giving you more details about the course, more details about intensives. And I'm also available, over DM or email if you have any specific questions about your situation. If I think it would be something I would recommend for you specifically, I'm so happy to give you my opinion. I'm not here to talk you into something that I don't think will be beneficial for you. I truly only want people to take this that are going to see results from it. And so, I'm here for you. Let me know if you need, if you have any questions, I'm here. And again, I'm just going to kind of let the timer run out here. Feel free to take advantage of that $350 off. And yeah, if not, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And I wish you all the best. I hope you found something valuable from this training and can walk away ready to conquer your year with high value clients. Thank you so much.